So the plan for today is I'm going to head up to the top of this hill here and I'm going to do a couple of little videos on my winter wild camping gear. But I thought on my way up I may as well actually do like a little bit of a video chat of what it's like being a YouTube outdoor. But I thought on my way up I may as well have a little chat with you about what it's really like being an outdoor YouTube content creator, because everything's not really what it appears. Quite a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it's 100% a double-edged sword in pretty much every aspect. Yeah, being snagged. But I thought while I'm up here I may as well do a But I thought while I'm on my way up here I may as well do a little chat video about how fucking hell. But I thought to myself, while I'm on the way up, I may as well do a little video and explain what it's really like being a YouTube content creator for the outdoors. Because it's not exactly what you think it is. Is it? Is it not? Is it not exactly what you think it might be? Fucking hell. But I thought, while I'm on my way up here, I may as well do a little chat video about how... I thought to myself, while I'm on the way up, I may as well do a little video and explain what it's really like being a YouTube content creator for the outdoors. Because it's not exactly what you think it is. Is it? Is it not? Is it not exactly what you think it might be? No. And whenever you see little video cuts where people kind of walk past the camera and stuff, this is what really happens. You spend ages walking around trying to think of where the best place to put your gear is. If I put it there, will it have all of these twigs and stuff in the way? I don't know. So you put it in place and then you do your little walk by. Oh, forgot to press record, and that could have been bad. There we go. Hopefully that won't fall. It's all right. So let's start again. Oh, shite, you know. Snag. All right. Well, I don't feel like that one worked. Christ. Oh, fuck off. This is ridiculous. Oh, God. Right. Take two. Gotta try and make this look dead cool. Oh, look at that. Did this first time. Ah, there we go. And then, like a nutter bell, you have to come all the way back. Oh. And collect your cameras, because you don't want to be leaving them there. Yeah. Right. Turn this off. And then come over and turn this one off. So next time you see a shot like that, just have a little think. So next time you see a shot like that, you'll know that it probably took about 3 takes and you had to keep. So next time you see a shot like that, you probably know that it's going to have took a couple of takes and he's going to have fucking over and over again. I'm going to keep this in just so you can see. So next time you see a shot like that, have a little think about just how many takes it might have taken. Take. Let's see, the problem is now I've moved on too far, so I'm thinking, do I go back? I think I will. So I'm going to head back now and start the walk again. So it's quite an interesting aspect to content creation. Right, there we go. So I reckon I'm okay here. Now, I've got a terrible memory, so I'm thinking to myself now, did I get all the footage I needed there? I probably didn't, I messed up a little bit. But I don't want to keep doing it, because then when it comes to editing, I've got to go through all these different takes and try and find the best one, which can be a bit of a ball ache. So I'm going to hope I got it, and if not, I'll probably just repeat it later on. So realising now that I've not actually done an intro, so often everything's kind of back to front. So yeah, let's crack on and do this again. So being a content creator, I think for anything, but especially the outdoors, is definitely a double-edged sword. For me, I find it incredibly motivating to kind of know that I can make a video. So I struggle at the best of times to get out, and knowing that I might kind of go out and make myself a video that's going to do well is motivating enough to kind of get me out sometimes. But the double-edged side of that is that it can kind of double the amount of time that your hike takes. And rather than just being like an enjoyable stroll up a mountain or whatever, you've got all this kind of back and forth going on, and taking video footage of you saying something and fucking up, and then redoing it over and over and over again. And I guess it might be because I'm not very good at it at the moment, but I'm sure that everybody does this, you know. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I always like to get the best take I can. But just little things like right now I'm a bit out of breath, so I'm wondering, do I need to retake all of that I've just said? You know, is it going to be good enough as it is? So it can be really quite infuriating. Maybe that's a strong word. It can be frustrating, because sometimes, you know, you want to just go up the mountain and enjoy yourself, and creating content when you go up that mountain can really kind of sap a bit of the enjoyment from the day. So it's a double-edged sword, because in one way I probably wouldn't even have been out if it wasn't for the prospect of making a video. But then while I'm out, everything's taking longer, it's a bit more tedious. So, you know, swings and roundabouts and all that, as they say. Oh, poop. So I'm going to try and be very balanced in this video. There's going to be some negative stuff. I'm going to try and mix it in with the positive. Obviously that's the nature of double-edgedness. So yeah, I don't like that take, don't really like what I've said there. Trying not to be negative, because I know that doesn't really make good content, even though I actually feel that way sometimes. But I'll be honest with you, one of the things that I promised myself on this channel was that I was always going to be really honest, whether that be good or bad. And the same applies to comments, you know. I'm going to respond in kind to comments. If someone's a dick, I'll reply like a dick. If somebody's positive and that kind of thing, then I'll reply positive. Oh God, I am out of breath. So I know I have said this in pretty much every video, but obviously really matters in this one. But talking while you're hiking, even though it's not particularly steep, it really does take it out of you. Very breathless. So but then you have this kind of thing in your head, well, should I stop and do me chat? And this way, if I do mess up, I don't need to keep going backwards, I can just do it all from here. But then it seems a little bit stale, you know? And like, unless I just like swing around while I talk, yeah, so being a YouTuber can which is weird. So typically, I'll want to walk while I'm doing this hiking video lark. I mean, this is definitely going to be one of my worst videos, because I'm going to leave so much in this that I would normally just cut out, just to show you how much work actually goes into it. And that's not covering the editing. So obviously the more I fuck up on the hike, the more I've got to edit later on. So even if I did like a perfect take for every single thing I said, probably still take half a day to do the editing. But if you mess up over and over again, you know, you've got to go through each version and go, oh, which one do I prefer the most? And often it's not black and white. It's not like you've done one version that's the best at everything. It might be that one version, the beginning part was the best and the end part fucked up. So you may end up starting to splice them together and stuff. Got an itch on my leg there. Ooh, I think an insect gnawed at me. Anyway, right, so at this point now, I'm very much aware that this is incredibly disjointed and I've not really kind of introduced what I'm doing properly, so I'm going to do that in a minute. As soon as I got past this little rocky section. There we go. So a good example is just over there is Penman Mile Ridge. And I did a video on that. It's one of my very first videos that I ever did. And what's probably not obvious is that I climbed up it and down it 3 times in order to do that video. You'll obviously only see me going up the once, but I would have gone up once with one type of camera, another one to do some drone footage, another one to do some talking. And even after that, I had to then kind of dub over some audio to make sure that it all fitted. So yeah, you know, I am planning on doing Crib Gok soon as a video, and almost definitely I'll have to do that entire run twice. You know, once to be followed a bit by a drone, once to do like kind of a lot of first person view stuff, and you know, possibly even a third time because I fucked up a lot on the way on the first 2 times. Who knows? But you know, these are the things that most people don't really think about when they watch these videos, and to be honest, I can imagine a lot of content creators don't do it. They're better than me, a little bit more experienced, so they don't mess up as much, or don't really care as much. You know, I do see a lot of videos where there's like kind of lots of messing. I do see a lot of videos where there's quite a lot of fucking up and stuff like that, and they keep it in, and I do enjoy that. But at the same time, I think, oh, would I have done that? You know, would I not have just retook it? So yeah, lick the lips. And that's another thing that I do a lot of as well. I'll have like a little bead of saliva on my lip or something when I'm talking, and it might be the best take I've done, but I'll stop halfway through and think, I know you'll be able to see the bead, and it's like, no you won't. It's like, it's a tiny little bead. You're probably never going to see that, but I've just messed me cut up, you know, by stopping because of that. So anyway, yeah, so that's like kind of one aspect of the whole double-edgedness of it. Essentially, to summarize, you know, it motivates you to get out, but when you're out, everything takes a lot longer and it's a bit more tedious. You know, it saps a lot of the fun out of doing the hike. But to kind of conclude really my point of view on that is, once you've done that video, you're so happy that you've done it. You know, you think, it was a bit of a ball ache. I probably would have enjoyed just going up without doing the video. But once that video's there, it's like it's there forever. And when you see YouTube push it out to a few thousand people and you get lots of positive comments, you think, yeah, it's definitely worthwhile doing that. You know what I mean? Like I said before, to reiterate, probably wouldn't even have gone out if it wasn't for the video. So, you know, now I've got the video there forever, and you know, hopefully helping people or entertaining people. So, you know, I think on that particular one, more positive. That was quite an aggressive more, wasn't it? So I think on that particular one, more positives than negatives, you know. So I'll take that one as a win. So I'm just looking ahead now, and I can see like a little gate, and I'm thinking to myself, do we just walk through that gate, or do we set up a camera and do like a shot walking through the gate? And the answer to that question today is no, I'm just going to walk through it, because I've already done a couple of examples. So I am just going to crack on, because actually, oh come on, there we go. The aim of today's video isn't really this. It is, well, not the aim of today's video, because to be honest, like, the aim of today wasn't to do this video. It was to go up to the top and do a couple of review videos. So I don't want to waste too much time doing this, but this walk to go from the car park to the top, I reckon 30 minutes, that's how long it takes. I would imagine that by the time I've done this video and all the stopping and starting, probably closer to an hour and a half. And then there's another side to it, which is that it's incredibly frustrating dealing with the YouTube algorithm. You know, you can do a video that you think is really good. You compare it to other people's videos and you think it's on par with them, maybe better, you know, maybe worse, but you know, generally roughly on par. And then, you know, you're all excited, you upload it and it just gets no traction whatsoever. And maybe it get like 200, 300 views, and then YouTube just literally stops, and that's it. As soon as it stops, it's gone, it's buried. You know, nothing's going to happen with that video. It's incredibly unlikely that YouTube is going to start pushing it again. And that can be really, really demoralizing, especially when you've spent absolutely ages recording the video and then editing the video. But then on the flip side, it's incredibly motivating when a video that maybe you might, but it's incredibly motivating when a video that you thought wasn't going to do too well, or maybe one that you thought was going to do too well, but anyway, it does well. You know, I've had a couple of videos that have surprised me with how good they've done, and I've had a couple of videos that I thought were really good and they've just failed miserably. And I think there's a massive element of luck with it. You know, I think if the YouTube algorithm pushes it out to the right people initially, it's going to gain momentum and it's going to go to more and more and more people. And, you know, you can get lucky and it can just snowball, and you can go from 150 followers to 1,000 followers in one video. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't really happen that often. I have seen it happen with a couple of channels that have come out maybe a month or two earlier than me, you know, and they're on like maybe 10, 15,000 followers now. And I think to myself, you know, the content is good. Is it massively better than mine? And I don't really think so, no, being realistic. But you know, they just got lucky with the snowball, and maybe they resonate with a different type of audience. So yeah, you know, it can be quite demoralizing and a bit depressing sometimes, you know, when you put a lot of work in and it goes nowhere. But again, to kind of give you my conclusion, when things do go well, it's an amazing feeling. Do you know, it's like, it's not like ego stroking or anything like that. It's just like kind of, not redemption, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean? You think to yourself like, yeah, that was worth it. That was good content, and I'm glad that it's been recognised, you know, and it motivates you to maybe do the next one. So it's actually been a while now, maybe 2 weeks, I think, since I've done a video. A couple of reasons for that. One, I've been quite busy with work, but also YouTube has decided to kind of absolutely just hammer my channel for no reason. I was getting 40, 50, 60 views a day for maybe my top 5 or 6 videos. And I was getting all excited thinking, oh, do you know what? Even if I didn't release another video, that would probably monetize me within a year. And then all of a sudden, just stopped. They're all down to 3 or 4 views a day. Don't really know why that is. Absolutely helpless feeling, because there's literally nothing you can do about it. You know, you can't make YouTube suddenly start caring about a video it stopped caring about. All you can do in this situation, put another video together and hope that that one does well. So yeah, big ass double-edged sword with that one, and I'm not entirely sure what my conclusion is on that. I think how obsessive you can be with the metrics and how depressing it is, I think in the beginning anyway, I think that's more of a negative than the positive of a video doing well. However, I'm saying that because I haven't had a video yet snowball. So even though I've got a video that's got 5,000 views, that took the best part of half a year to happen. Whereas I've seen other people's videos get 100,000 views in a matter of days. So yeah, maybe I'll have a different opinion on this side of things if I ever get a video that snowballs. Very, very, very nice day. That's quite a bit blowy back there. Went up to about 25 miles an hour. Wasn't like kind of getting blown around or anything, but I could definitely tell that it was going to be affecting the sound. Another consideration really there, you know, it's like research suggests that people are more likely to stop watching a video if the audio quality is bad, as opposed to if the video quality is bad. And I can kind of get that. I think we kind of just zone out a little tiny bit when the video quality is bad, you know, and it just becomes the norm and we don't really overthink it. You know, obviously we all love really high fidelity video quality, but I think when the audio is bad, I think it's just permanently distracting. I think we, you know, especially when it's windy, you know, you can't hear what someone said and that kind of thing. And I think, yeah, I think I agree. I probably would be more likely to stop watching a video, even if it was really kind of gripping, just because I couldn't really follow it because of the audio. And I have seen a YouTuber that's come out recently, and he doesn't seem to use a wireless microphone like what I've got there. And his oh, excuse me, burp there. His videos are really quite entertaining, but his audio quality is terrible. You know, oh, excuse me, burping again. Yeah, so his videos are quite entertaining, but his audio quality is awful. You know, loads of wind noise. And I was tempted to put a comment on one of his videos, or maybe contact him directly and just, you know, suggest maybe the DJI Mic 2 or something like that, just to help him along. But I didn't want to come across as like kind of patronising or condescending, although I'm sure he probably wouldn't have taken it that way. I may still do it because he seems like a sound guy actually, and I do wish him all the best in his little endeavour. So yeah. So another part of YouTube that I probably hit the ground running with, just because I'm a professional photographer, but still takes a lot longer than people probably expect, which is the editing aspect of things. You can really take, you know, the best part of a day to edit a video. Sometimes, you know, it takes 2 days if you've got a particular. Sometimes you end up. I often try to get the video edited kind of when I get home, but more often than not I have to continue it then the next day, next evening. So yeah, probably all in all I'd say a good 30-minute length video. It's going to take 5 or 6 hours for me to edit, and as I say, this is with a fair bit of photography experience and graphic design and whatnot. So yeah, you know, I know that there's people like Paul Messner. I've seen a video once of him with somebody else, and he was saying that, you know, he tends to kind of bashes out a lot quicker nowadays. You know, he's been doing it for a long time, so he's obviously going to be much better at it. But he says he tries to get a better idea in his head of what to say, says it, and obviously that makes things a lot easier. For me, I think I just overthink a lot while I'm talking, and it kind of really messes me up. And I think if I was having this conversation in person, I don't think I'd mess up anywhere near as much, and it wouldn't really occur to me to stop, walk backwards and restart the conversation with somebody, because it would be dead weird. So yeah, I think that's going to be like the next stage in my evolution of this YouTube lark, is to just be a little bit more forgiving on myself when I kind of mess up, and maybe include things that aren't the best I could do, but you know, just try and find that perfect balance between getting the content and enjoying the hike, which I think is something that I need to definitely work on. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't enjoy the hikes when I'm out. I absolutely love looking around, and more often than not I'm like kind of going like whoa, look at this view, man, and that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So in some ways, maybe stopping more on the hike is actually helpful, you know. So there is another double-edged aspect to all of this. So I said before that doing YouTube content actually motivates you to go out where you might not otherwise do that, but also it can create this very strange kind of paradox, I guess, where you really want to go out and do content, but it freezes you in a way. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, it's running a bit late and I just want to go out and do a hike. Rather than, like previously, before I ever did any content, I would just go out and do a hike, and I'd just go somewhere I've done a million times before, just to get out, stretch my legs and enjoy the fresh air. But when you kind of do content creator, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, well, what about the video? What about the video? What about the video? And what effectively that means then is that rather than go somewhere that I've already done a video, I'll be sitting there lying in bed, racking my brains, going, what can I do? I've only got 2 hours left, so what can I do that's going to be a YouTube video? And then before you know it, all the time's gone and you've wasted your day. You know, you're just still in bed with the cat. So that's like kind of like an interesting little paradox, because it simultaneously inspires you to go out, but also freezes you and makes you overthink the reason, this wind is definitely not going to be helping. I just thought of another kind of potential little double-edgedness of it all, which is like, I was very tempted not to come out today because the wind's quite high, even though it's lovely weather and I would otherwise enjoy a hike in this wind, you know, anyway. Because it's not ideal for a video, I was really I was laying on my bed for a good few hours, just thinking, oh, should I wait for tomorrow? Should I wait for tomorrow? And this is, you know, a little bit of an issue sometimes, because, you know, I've been waiting to go to Scotland to do a video on Ben Nevis. And ordinarily, I'd probably go to Scotland 3 or 4 times a year in the winter. And for example, today and tomorrow is amazing weather in the Cairngorms, but I've got my mind set on the next video I do is going to be me going up Ben Nevis and down the CMD Arete and all of that kind of stuff. So that really kind of interfered with this idea of maybe just going to Scotland and enjoying myself and actually doing a couple of gullies in the Cairngorms. So yeah, you know, so that's a little bit of an issue. So let's say today the weather at Ben Nevis was absolutely amazing, you know, really sunny, like loads of snow, but it was quite windy. That would be enough reason for me to go, oh, I'll leave it this time because I'll need there to be no wind for me to use my drone to get those epic drone shots of me climbing up the gully. So I'll kind of end up not going and enjoying Scotland because the conditions weren't quite right for me to do a video. And this is all really quite new for me, and I'm trying to process it. I think over time I'll probably start kind of balancing things a little bit better and spend more time actually just going out hiking with no kind of content creation in mind. Definitely I'll never be doing content creation when I go out with other people, so I'll probably just start inviting friends out to do things, but that's always a bit of an issue because I'm self-employed and I'm free most weekdays, whereas most people are free on the weekends. A little bead of spit there, like I was talking about before. I'll keep that in. Anyway, another thing is monetization. So I've said in another video that my aim is to get monetized, and it's not because I want to make this my career. It's just a little bit of a goal, something to aim towards, but also I like the idea really that maybe I can cut out 1 or 2 weddings a year, and because that's what I am as a wedding photographer, by the way, just in case you thought I'm a serial wedding fucker, whatever they are called. Can't remember. I'll put the name of those little bastards below. Distracted myself there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I've said in a previous video that my aim is to get monetized, and this isn't because I want to make YouTube in my career. It's something to aim towards, a little bit of motivation, but it's a very hard goal to achieve actually. But weirdly enough, incredibly easy for some people. If you get that snowball effect like I was talking about before, you can be monetized in a month. You know, you get a lot of videos of people coming on saying, oh, this is how you get monetized in a month. And most of them are just garbage. You know, they say things like, oh, change your niche, or, you know, if your niche is your niche, you can't change it, you know. So a lot of those things aren't really relevant to the outdoors. Essentially, it's all down to luck, I do firmly believe. I think if you happen to get a lucky streak on one of your videos and it goes out to, maybe gets like kind of strapped on the back of one of Paul Messner's videos or something like that, and you get a few thousand like-minded views from that, that could be all it takes to get things rolling. Once that's happened, YouTube knows exactly what kind of audience are going to interact with you, rather than its kind of guessing game. And that's it, you know, snowball from there, and you can have 1,000 subscribers from 1 or 2 videos, you know. And watch hours, do you know, it's like, that's it, it's an interesting one, because they can happen so slowly, but then likewise you can get 4,000 hours from one single video. I had sniffy sniff. I had a video that was doing really well. It was about my mental health and mountain, so I think it was like kind of Hell of Ellen, I think it was called. And that's quite an interesting video because I didn't really think that was going to do too well, but actually it's been by a mile my most successful video. And this is an example of where the YouTube algorithm, this is an example of where the YouTube algorithm can really fuck it over, because by every single metric, that video was pissing all over every other one of my videos. It was getting 20 minutes, 30 minutes on average each watch, which is crazy considering most are only about 3 minutes. It had like a 5, 6, 7% click-through rate. Do you know, it was just doing really well. And you know, in the graph you could see, you know, YouTube was just really promoting it. It got like 250 hours worth of watch time in no time at all. And then all of a sudden, and this has happened a few times, come midnight it just stops dead. It's like YouTube's just gone, yeah, that's it, we're good now, I've given you your days boosted, and that's it. You know, it never really ever recovers from that. You end up with this kind of gradual trickle from that point on, where maybe over the space of another year I might get 1,000 more views, but you know, that's not going to help for monetization. This monetization thing, it's 4,000 hours in the last rolling year. So this kind of puts more urgency than you possibly would want on things doing well, which can be quite distracting. So avoiding the prickles here. So I'm just getting closer now to the abandoned mine where I'm hoping to be able to do my video. But already I'm thinking, can it be arsed? Do you know, review videos, they are actually really hard to do. So the original plan was I was going to do 3 versions simultaneously of the kind of 3 variants of my winter backpacking kit. Essentially an ultralight one, a kind of single ice axe, you know, when there's a bit of snow, winter one, and then a more technical winter one where I've got, you know, proper crampons and technical axes for climbing up stuff and doing ridges. But honestly, I'm kind of filled full of dread, to be honest, just thinking about how much work is involved in recording that and then editing that. And I mean, I want to do it because, you know, everybody's always interested in, you know, like kind of base weight and you know, what's in your kit and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, there's a massive part of me that wants to do these videos because recently YouTube did that thing where it just like stopped promoting all of my videos. And I'm thinking, well, you know, it has been 2 weeks since I put some content up. Maybe if I do like a set of 3 in one go, maybe that'll help kind of boost me up and promote me again. You know, it's kind of interesting, really, you know. Anyway, look at this. Oof. So anyway, my overall conclusion of it all is that had I known kind of what was really involved, I don't know whether I would have started. You know, I do really enjoy it and there's a lot of benefit from it, but there's also a lot of kind of negativity around it, and I'm hoping that I get used to that and things get better, and I'm sure they will. You know, the general advice that people give is to just stop worrying about stats and enjoy making content, and I'm not there yet, you know, so hopefully I'll get there soon enough. But in the meantime, yeah, you know, I think if I'd have known what I know now, possibly wouldn't have ever started, but definitely glad that I have started. And you know, I love most things about it, even though I've pissed and moaned about it a lot today. You know, I love the little community that I've started to get going. You know, I've got a couple of regular commenters and viewers, and you know, I love the interactions that we have, so thank you. Yeah, you know, quite noisy here with the old automobiles. Anyway, so now I'm going to end this video now while I just mooch around trying to find somewhere to do these videos that's not going to be deafened by road noise. Actually, do you know what? It's stopped quite a lot here, so I think this is out of the way enough. I'm going to do it here. Sod it. Let's crack on, shall we? I'll see you in the next video. What?